Have you ever felt like your life was stuck on repeat? Wake up. Go to work. Come home exhausted, sleep, then do it all over again. That was Takeru's life. Nothing exciting ever happened. No adventures. No surprises. Just another office worker trying to survive another Monday. Sometimes he caught himself wondering, is this really all life has to offer? As it turns out, the universe had been listening, because after leaving work one ordinary evening, everything suddenly went black. No warning, no accident, one blink, and his entire life was over. When Takeru opened his eyes again, he wasn't in a hospital. He wasn't even on Earth anymore. Instead, he found himself standing inside an endless white world. No walls, no sky, nothing except one mysterious man calmly waiting for him. Naturally, Takeru asked the only question anyone would ask. Where am I? The stranger smiled. You're dead. Yeah, not exactly the greeting he was hoping for. Before panic could take over, the man introduced himself as the administrator. According to him, every once in a while, someone from Earth is chosen to help another world. This time, that person was Takeru. Of course, Takeru thought this had to be some kind of joke. Why would anyone choose an ordinary salaryman? The administrator simply laughed, because ordinary people often make extraordinary heroes. That answer didn't really explain anything, but before Takeru could complain, a glowing screen appeared in front of him, one after another. New abilities started filling the list. Magic affinity, appraisal, item storage, elemental magic, support magic, several resistance skills, and finally, one ability that looked strangely simple. Search. Takeru frowned. Search out of every legendary ability imaginable. He got search. The administrator couldn't help smiling. You'll understand soon enough. This skill doesn't just search, it finds anything. Hidden treasure, rare herbs, lost ruins, secret monsters, even objects that nobody else knows exist. Suddenly, the skill didn't sound weak anymore. In fact, it sounded terrifying. Before Takeru had time to ask another question, his body slowly became transparent. The administrator raised one hand. Good luck. Try not to destroy the world. Wait. Destroy the world? Before Takeru could ask what that meant, everything disappeared. A cold breeze brushed against his face. Birds chirped somewhere above. Takeru slowly opened his eyes. Towering trees surrounded him. The air smelled fresh for the first time in years. He felt completely healthy. No back pain, no stress, no deadlines, just silence. He looked down at his hands. Even his body looked younger. This really happened. He wasn't dreaming. He had actually been reincarnated. After taking a deep breath, he quickly realized something important. This wasn't a game. If he wanted to survive, he needed food, money, and somewhere safe to sleep. Then he remembered, search. He quietly activated the skill. Nothing happened. Seriously, he tried again. Still nothing. On the third attempt, golden lights suddenly appeared all around the forest. Tiny glowing markers floated in every direction. Some pointed towards strange plants. Others highlighted rocks beneath the ground. One marker even appeared several hundred meters away. Takeru's eyes widened. It actually worked. Using appraisal, he inspected the nearest plant. Rare healing herb. High quality. Valuable. A huge grin spread across his face. This is broken. For the next several hours, he wandered through the forest collecting everything. Search revealed rare mushrooms, medicinal herbs, iron ore, magic stones every few minutes. Another valuable resource appeared. Most adventurers spent years learning where to gather these materials. Takeru found them by simply walking. Eventually, search highlighted something different. A small crystal hidden beneath a fallen tree. Appraisal immediately activated. Mid-grade magic ore, worth several silver coins. Now things were getting interesting. Satisfied with his first day's harvest, Takeru followed a dirt road until wooden walls finally appeared in the distance. A village's first sign of civilization. The guards stopped him immediately, which, honestly, made perfect sense. A random stranger covered in dirt suddenly walking out of the forest. Pretty suspicious after a short conversation. The guards finally let him enter. The village wasn't huge, but to Takeru it felt incredible. Blacksmiths hammered away at glowing steel. Merchants shouted across busy streets. Children laughed while chasing each other through the market. This really was another world, and somehow he was part of it now, following the guards' directions. Takeru entered a small trading shop. The elderly merchant carefully examined every item on the counter. The longer he looked, the wider his eyes became. You collected all of this today? Takeru simply nodded. The old man laughed. Either you're unbelievably lucky, or you're hiding something without asking any more questions. He bought every single item when Takeru counted the silver coins in his hand. He almost laughed out loud one afternoon in the forest. Had earned him more money than an entire month back on Earth. Not bad for his first day in another world. But that old merchant wasn't finished yet. Leaning closer, he lowered his voice. I might have another job for someone like you. And that single conversation would send Takeru toward the greatest discovery of his new life. To be continued, he died, but instead of heaven, he was given the ultimate search skill. The old merchant leaned forward, making sure nobody else could hear. I've got a request, but almost every adventurer I've hired has failed. Now, that's exactly the kind of sentence you don't want to hear in a fantasy world. Still, Takeru stayed calm. What kind of request? The merchant slowly pulled out a strange piece of glowing ore. This, I need another one, according to him. A rare magical ore could only be found somewhere inside the eastern mountain. It was incredibly valuable. Blacksmiths would pay a fortune for it. The problem: nobody knew its exact location, and the mountain was crawling with monsters. Even experienced adventurers avoided the place. The reward was enough money for Takeru to live comfortably for months. He didn't even need time to think. I'll take the job, the old merchant smiled. I had a feeling you'd say that. The next morning, Takeru packed a few supplies, bought some food, and headed toward the mountain. The weather was perfect, the road was quiet, everything almost felt too peaceful then. Search suddenly activated on its own. A new golden marker appeared. But this time it wasn't pointing toward treasure, it was pointing toward a person. Curious, Takeru followed the signal into the forest. A few minutes later, he stopped lying beneath a tree. It was the body of an adventurer. His armor was damaged. His sword had snapped in half. Judging by the condition of the body, he had been dead for days. Takeru quietly looked around. There were no monsters nearby, no clues, nothing. He sighed. I guess no one is coming for you. Instead of walking away, he spent the next several minutes digging a grave. He carefully buried the stranger, placed the broken sword beside him, then bowed his head. It wasn't much, but everyone deserved respect, without realizing it. That simple act revealed exactly what kind of person Takeru really was. Not someone chasing power, but someone who never forgot his humanity. As he continued deeper into the forest, the trees became taller, the air grew colder. Even the sunlight struggled to reach the ground. Then, Search reacted again. This time, the signal was much stronger. It was coming from somewhere below. Right, as Takeru stepped closer. Crack! The ground beneath him shattered. He dropped straight into darkness. For one terrifying second, he thought his adventure had ended before it even began. Then, instinct took over. Wind magic, a powerful current formed beneath him. His fall slowed. Instead of crashing onto the rocks, he landed safely inside a hidden valley. After catching his breath, he finally looked around, and immediately forgot everything that had just happened. The entire valley sparkled. Rare crystals covered the cliffs. Magical ore stretched across the stone walls. Even ordinary rocks contained valuable minerals. It looked like nobody had ever discovered this place. Takeru couldn't stop smiling. I think I just became rich. For the next hour, he gathered everything he could carry. Every few minutes, Search pointed toward another hidden resource, but eventually one marker refused to disappear. It pointed toward a cave hidden behind massive vines. There has to be something important inside. Without hesitation, he stepped into the darkness. The cave was silent, almost unnaturally silent. Only drops of water echoed through the tunnel. Takeru created a small ball of light. The cave instantly became visible. As he walked deeper, the tunnel suddenly opened. A gigantic underground lake appeared before him. The water glowed with an intense blue light. His appraisal skill activated automatically. Mana-saturated water, a resource so rare. Most people believed it only existed in legends, just standing near the lake. Made Takeru feel his mana recovering. He slowly stepped forward. Then, the water exploded. A gigantic dragon rose from beneath the surface. Its scales reflected the blue light across the entire cave. Its golden eyes locked onto Takeru. Any normal person would have run. Takeru simply stood there, trying very hard not to pass out. Several long seconds passed. Then, the dragon spoke. So, you're finally here. Takeru blinked. You were expecting me? The dragon nodded. For many years I've been waiting for someone capable of saving my child. Slowly, the dragon lifted a glowing egg from beneath the water. I've kept this egg safe for decades, but it doesn't have enough mana to hatch. I can feel enormous magical energy inside you. If you help my child, I'll give you everything you came here for. Takeru looked at the egg, then at the dragon. There was only one answer. I'll help. He placed both hands on the shell. Immediately, mana began flowing into the egg. At first, everything seemed normal. Then, the egg demanded more, and even more. Takeru felt his strength disappearing. His knees gave out, his vision blurred. Right before losing consciousness, he heard something, a heartbeat. From inside the egg, then everything went dark. Darkness that was the last thing Takeru remembered. His body felt completely drained. It was as if every drop of mana inside him had been ripped away. For a brief moment, he thought he had actually died again. Then, a familiar voice echoed through the darkness. Looks like you're pushing yourself already. Takeru slowly opened his eyes, for just a split second. He thought he saw the administrator standing in front of him. The mysterious man simply smiled. You've made an interesting choice, but don't worry. Your journey is only beginning. Before Takeru could ask what he meant, the vision disappeared. His eyes snapped open. He was back inside the cave. The glowing egg was shaking violently. Tiny cracks spread across its shell. The ancient dragon watched silently. Then, crack! The shell split apart. A tiny dragon slowly crawled out. The little creature looked around with curious eyes. It sniffed the air. Then, without hesitation, it waddled straight toward Takeru. The tiny dragon rubbed its head against his arm, before climbing onto his shoulder as if it had known him forever. Takeru couldn't help smiling. So, I guess you're the little troublemaker. The ancient dragon let out a deep laugh. It has chosen you from this day forward. You are its family. That wasn't exactly what Takeru expected when he woke up this morning. Yesterday, he was filling out paperwork. Today, he somehow became the father of a baby dragon. Life really came at you fast. The tiny dragon happily chirped. It refused to leave Takeru's shoulder, no matter how many times he tried after thinking for a moment. Takeru gently patted its head. I should probably give you a name. The little dragon tilted its head. How about B? The baby dragon immediately became excited. It flapped its tiny wings, accidentally falling face first onto the ground. The ancient dragon burst into laughter. Even Takeru couldn't hold it in. B might become a legendary dragon one day, but right now, he was absolutely adorable. After the laughter faded, the ancient dragon became serious again, as promised. It is yours. The dragon placed a beautiful crystal-like ore in front of Takeru. The exact magical ore the merchant had been searching for, but the dragon wasn't finished. There is one more gift. The lake behind them suddenly began glowing. Countless streams of blue mana floated through the air. They gathered around Takeru's magical storage bag. What are you doing? The dragon smiled. B will require enormous amounts of mana while growing, so I've connected your storage bag to this lake no matter where you travel. It will continue supplying mana. Takeru's eyes widened. So, I basically have an unlimited mana supply for B. Exactly. That single gift was probably worth more than every treasure Takeru had found so far. After thanking the ancient dragon, Takeru finally left the cave.